H. Soga, was the earliest to note that accounts of the Ichanti, which he called water sprites, sound a lot like hallucinations. Indeed, with the benefit of what we know today, we can be more specific than that. The Xhosa elders' descriptions of rapidly changing geometric patterns, merging with iconic images, are reminiscent of the hallucinatory process that stands at the heart of the neuropsychological model of rock and cave art. Anthropological reports add weight to this suspicion of a hallucinatory origin for the Ichanti and for the river people, who are also sometimes snakes, with whom they are invariably linked. During the period of their initiation, diviners from many Nguni drupes travel in dreams and trance to underwater realms in rivers, where they encounter a large underwater serpent, the Ichanti, surrounded by snakes, which are directly associated with the ancestral spirits. Initiates are required to capture one or more of these snakes. Other ancestral beings known as the river people are also encountered in this realm. A final level of the puzzle noted by anthropologists is that Nguni shamans are themselves commonly associated with snakes. They're believed to be able to control snakes, and in some cases to turn into these creatures. All in all, therefore, we're in familiar visionary territory with this complex of beliefs involving spirit beings, the other world, and therianthropic transformations. About what had happened, she told us that everyone, including the initiate himself, had been expecting this, and that it was a good death for a man to pass over to the world of the spirits at the time of such a ceremony. When I asked why the death was expected, she explained that the night before, when they'd all been gathered in the hut on the riverbank, they'd been visited by powerful supernatural beings who she called the river people. She described them as very tall and black-skinned with golden hair, and said in a most matter-of-fact way that they lived in the depths of great rivers, but could emerge from the waters and move amongst ordinary mortals on the land, sometimes to do good, sometimes to do harm. Last night, in the company of a procession of serpents and river animals, they'd surfaced from the deep, entered the hut with water still dripping from their glistening bodies, and claimed the soul of the initiate. Mystery of the river people. Later I was able to research the matter a little further. In Nguni languages, the traditional name given to the mysterious river people is the Abantu Bomalambo, spoken of in hushed tones as both malevolent and benevolent in nature, and always unpredictably so. They take the form not only of strange-looking human beings, but also of snakes. Perhaps this therianthropic ambiguity is why they are always closely associated with gigantic aquatic serpents called Ichanti, said to live alongside them in the underwater otherworld, and to which several scholars have turned for a possible explanation of sand rock paintings of serpents in the Drakensberg Mountains. Particularly noteworthy in light of the sand's age-old shamanic theme is that these mysterious Ichanti are masters of transformation, capable of shape-shifting with hypnotic rapidity. Ichanti can assume the appearance of almost anything, from a snake to a goat, and transform itself from an iron chain to a feather to a honeycomb. Interviewed in the 1920s, Xhosa elders talked about the way they perceived these apparently random transformations. They likened the rapidly changing patterns they observed in a kaleidoscope to Ichanti. Perhaps because of these rapid transformations, it is believed that Ichanti have the power to mesmerize people,